Okay, so in the last class we were discussing about uh, the resonant circuits, ideal resonant circuit. So how actually it is uh, having the characteristics. So we have here the resonant circuit we have seen. It is having a pass band F1 and F2. Okay, so there is a sharp cutoff here. Okay, so this is actually the ideal circuit. Okay, so this is attenuation in dB. Okay, so this is a frequency, and also we have defined the Q factor. Okay, so that Q factor which is given by F naught by F2 minus F1, so that is nothing but F naught by bandwidth. Okay, so this is what we have seen, but in practical scenarios these ideal circuits will not be exist only. Okay, so only the practical circuits which are there. So now how the resonant circuit in practical which is giving a response. So if I take the again the attenuation versus frequency. Okay, attenuation in dB and versus frequency. So if I take this is a maximum gain which is 0 dB, and we'll get so something like this the curve. So something like this it will come. Okay, and this will be which will be whatever the variations which is there here. So this will be, we'll call it as a ripple, so that we'll discuss. Okay, and this one, so whatever here it is from 0 to the variation it is 3 dB down. If I take, so we'll get the bandwidth, that is F1 and F2. Okay, so the difference between this maximum gain if I consider it as 0 dB and 3 dB down if you take, so from the maximum gain, so we will get the so from this, if I take from this curve, so if this is the maximum gain, so this is the 3 dB down. So if I take this one as 3 dB down, because from this circuit this is having maximum gain and this will be the 3 dB down. Okay, so then, so from that point if I take 3 dB down, we'll get the bandwidth. Okay, and so this is the pass band, so whatever we are seeing here, and there is a attenuation between pass band and stop band. So this is what we'll get the stop band here. Okay, and in between, so there is a attenuation. So let us say for example if it is having 60 dB, so we can say that it is having a attenuation of 60 dB, that is, that we'll call it as ultimate attenuation. So that we'll see what is ultimate attenuation. Okay, so this is about the practical the resonant circuit or practical filter. Okay, now so you can see here there is a sharp roll off. Okay, from where it is coming from, pass band to stop band, so where it will exactly meet uh, the curve, so in the frequency axis, that will call it as f4, say for example, and wherever it is starting from 0 to and into increasing the slope, so that will call it as f3. Okay, so if I take the difference of, okay, f2 minus f1, okay, and f3 minus f4, so if I take that ratio f4 minus f3 by f2 minus f1, so that ratio we'll call it as the shape factor. Okay, what is the shape factor? Shape factor is the ratio of difference between this f4 minus f3 divided by f2 minus f1. Okay, so this is a shape factor what we can define. So because the shape of this resonant circuit or shape of the filter, so which is decided by these frequencies, and this roll off whatever we are seeing here, so this will, it will be based on the components which is there to obtain this response. Okay, so you can have 6 dB per octave. Okay, so this roll off or whatever the the sharp roll off you are seeing. So it may be 6 dB per octave, or if you can take 20 dB per decade. Okay, so this roll off, it may be depends on the circuit components. It may be 6 dB, 12 dB per octave, or 40 dB per decade, like that. Okay, so now, so if I take the ratio of the shape factor, see in terms of attenuation, okay, so you can see here, so it is a ratio of, so maximum the attenuation which is having between F4 and F3 is 60 dB, and in F2 and F1 it is having a maximum attenuation of 3 dB. So it will give the ratio of, in terms of attenuation, it is 60 dB per 3 dB. Okay, so like that shape factor of resonant circuit we can able to define it. So now this shape factor is always greater than 1. Why? Because, so this shape factor, it is always greater than 1, because for the practical filter there will be a bandwidth of F3 and F4 and F1 and F2. So if we take the ideal resonance circuit or ideal filter, so this F3 and F4 it will not be there. So that's why, so for the ideal circuit, so it is impossible to have this shape factor. Okay, so that's why, so shape factor is always 1, that is greater than 1. So for the practical filter, or you can have, so the same F2 equal to F4 or F3 equal to F1. In that case your shape factor will be equal to 1. Okay, so if the same, so whatever the roll off it is there, it is having a infinite, so or zero roll off. If I have infinite means it will not have any resonance which will exist. Okay, so if I have zero roll off, okay, then we have the shape factor which will not exist. Okay, so even if shape factor is less than 1, the filter will not exist, because the roll off it will come like this for shape factor which is less than 1. That means F2 minus F1 will be greater than F4 minus F3. So that is not possible in practical scenario. So that's why, so it is impossible to achieve the shape factor of less than 1. So it is either equal to 1, which is like a ideal case. Okay, and if it is greater than 1, it is a practical case. So that is what your shape factor. And whatever q we have defined, so it is having a circuit q and component q. So there are two different types of the quality factor, which is called as circuit q and then component q. Okay, so now this circuit q also called, we can call it as loaded q. Okay, and component q we can call it as unloaded. Okay, so now as we have seen from this equation, as the bandwidth increases the q factor will going to decrease. Okay, or if the bandwidth is decreases, the q factor will going to increase. So this will be always affects the, so this circuit component. So if I vary the circuit component, it will always affect this component q, but the reverse is not true in the resonant circuit. And the significance of this q means, so this circuit's q, so it will measure the how much selectivity of the resonant circuit. So how much this pass band, how much it can able to select or to pass the signal, so that the circuit q defines. Okay, it is a measure, so it will measure the how much selectivity of this resonant circuit will be. So that is, we'll call it as the circuit q. Okay, so now we'll define the, as I said here, ultimate attenuation. What is it actually, this ultimate attenuation? It is a maximum attenuation that the resonant circuit presents outside the specified passband. So if I just say this is a passband for the practical circuit, that is F2 minus F1. So this is a passband. If I take outside the passband, how much this the roll off or the attenuation which will happen, so that maximally outside the passband, that we'll call it as the ultimate attenuation. You can see here the attenuation, it is go on reducing. Okay, outside the passband it is drastically reducing. So how much it is going to reduce, so that we'll call it as the ultimate attenuation. Okay, So in the ideal circuit, so there is no that roll off which is having 20 dB per decade or like that. So that's why it will go to infinity. Okay, so there is no slope of the slope or roll off, so in the ideal circuit. So that's why this ultimate in that attenuation, it will go to infinite. Okay, so this is what we'll call it as the ultimate attenuation. And and ripple, so if I want to define ripple, what is a ripple? Okay, so ripple means which we have already seen here. So this is what the ripple which is there. It is a difference between maximum attenuation in the passband and minimum attenuation in the passband. Okay, so it will measure the flatness of the resonance circuit. Okay, so flatness, how much it is going to be flat in the passband of the resonance circuit. So that is what we'll call it as ripple. So measure of the flatness of frequency response of the resonant circuit which is there in the passband. So that is what we call it as the ripple. So even we can define ripple, so which will be define it as the symbol epsilon. Okay, it is a measure of the maximum attenuation, so minus minimum attenuation. Okay, so this is maximum attenuation minus minimum attenuation. So that is, we will call it as the ripple factor. Okay, so now one more factor, so we'll going to define what is insertion loss. So this is very important in resonance circuits. So what is insertion loss? Now if I have a source, okay, which is fed the power, okay, to the load, okay, to the load. So now what is meant by insertion loss? Whenever we have fed the power from source to the load, so if I insert in between source load any circuit, okay, okay, so if I insert any circuit in between the source and load, so how much attenuation it will result? Okay, how much attenuation the inserting circuit will result? So that we'll call it as insertion loss. Okay, it is the attenuation resulting from inserting a circuit between source and load. So that is what we'll call it as the insertion loss. Okay, so this is what the important things for the some of the definitions like circuit key, and then ripple, ultimate attenuation, insertion loss. These are the some of the definitions you have to remember for the resonance circuit. So now we'll analyze a simple circuit in a phasor domain, how actually these circuits will be analyzed. Okay, so now if I take a simple circuit which is having a series resistance, now if I apply the input voltage here, okay, so in this input voltage, and we have a load, so which is having the impedance, the value ZP. Okay, and we'll measure the output across this the ZP value. Okay, so now, so if I consider like this circuit, so now we have to analyze what is the output voltage and input voltage, and what is the ratio of this output voltage and input voltage, that will define the gain of the circuit. Okay, so now using KVL you can apply. So if I apply, so what is the V naught? So voltage across this one, if I consider the current passing through this circuit, it is II. Okay, so now if I have the voltage across this ZP, okay, so which is given by ZP into II. Okay, so this is a voltage which will get across this ZP. And similarly, if I write the equation for VI, so it is nothing but II into RS plus ZP. So this is completely going from the loop. So we can apply here II into RS plus II into ZP. So that is what VI. Now if I take the ratio of V naught by VI, okay, so if I take the ratio of V naught by Vi, that is what the gain we can get it. So which is nothing but, so II into Zp, so divided by II into Rs plus Zp. So now this will give Zp by Rs plus Zp. So that is what we have the gain of the circuit, that is V naught by Vi. So this is what we will get. And if I want to express in terms of dB, so it will be voltage variation, so that's why we'll get the 20 log of, so this one. Okay, and also we can call this one as v naught by vi in terms of the response or transfer function with respect to frequency response, okay, or frequency response of the circuit. So this we can define it as the magnitude of this the transfer function or frequency response into e power j pi. Okay, or we can have magnitude of h along along with the phase phi. So this actually it will give, so with respect to this circuit it will give the Zp by Rs plus Zp. Okay, so this is what we'll get from this V naught by Vi. So now if I want the gain in dB, so that is G in dB, so which is equal to V naught by Vi in terms of dB. So this will give 20 log of, so whatever Zp by Rs plus Zp. So that is what we'll get in terms of gain in dB. Okay, so this is what we'll get. So now we can observe here always, so the output voltage it is always less than the input, that we know. So in the practical circuits, so it is always the V naught is always less than Vi, or it is best possible thing is the same Vi will appear at the V naught. So for all passive circuits, so this V naught it is always less than or equal to Vi. Okay, the magnitudes. So now if the shunt element whatever we have defined here, the Zp, if it is contains whether it is inductor or even it is capacitor, so what will happen? So now if we take any particular case, okay, so if I take as a for example, if that impedance element it is a capacitor, what will happen? Okay, so this is Vi and this is Rs and this will be having capacitor. Okay, if a shunt element, if I consider a capacitor or perfect capacitor, so then what will happen? So your Zp is nothing but, since it is a shunt element, so it will be having a capacitive reactance which will be defined as j omega c, that is 1 over j omega c. So now if I consider that transfer function or that whatever the ratio of V naught by Vi output by input, so which will be given it as 1 over j omega c, that is Zp by Rs plus Zp, that is Rs plus 1 over j omega c. Okay, so now if I simplify this one, so you can take this one down and you can get it as, so 1 plus, so you can take this Rs this side also and you will get it as 1 plus j r omega c. So this is after simplification you will get it this one. Okay, so now if I take the magnitude of this one, okay, so if I take the magnitude of this one, it will give 1 over square root of 1 plus or 1 square plus r omega c whole square. So this is what magnitude response you will get. And similarly if I want the phase of this one, so you will get tan inverse of or minus tan inverse of omega rc. It is tan inverse of b by a. You can take the, this we can write it as 1 over 1 plus 1 over j omega rc, or you can write it as 1 minus j by omega rc. Okay, so it is like a minus b, a minus jb, you can take b by a, so this will get minus tan inverse of omega c. That is what the phase you will going to get. Okay, so if I want in terms of the gain in terms of dB, so that is h of omega in terms of dB, so this will give, so whatever the magnitude of this one, so that is 20 log of, so whatever we'll get the magnitude of h, so if I take the magnitude of h of omega, so that will give the gain in dB. Okay, so if I take that one, so if I take this one as the 20 log of uh, 1 plus r omega c whole power minus half, so that we can take it as in the numerator, that is 1 plus r omega c whole square whole power minus half, we can take like this. Okay, so and if we can take this one here and you will get minus 10 log of 1 plus omega rc whole square. Okay, so this is what we'll get the gain in dB. So now if I plot the response of this one, so it will be like, so 0 dB having a maximum gain, and the flatness it will come like this. This acts as a low pass filter, and wherever we have the 1 by RC, that is what your resonance circuit you will get. So this will be having, so maximum from that point you will get the 3 dB down, so you will get that the resonance circuit, that resonance point. Okay, so this is what we have. So since we have only one element, it will be having the slope of 20 dB per decade. Okay, so this is what we'll get if the ZP, if we take the capacitor. Okay, so similar like if I plot the phase response, you will get like this. So if I take this phase response in terms of the frequency, with respect to frequency, so wherever you have the 1 over RC, so omega whenever it will equal to 1 over RC, so you will get the, so 45 degree phase. So tan inverse of 1, so if you substitute whenever omega equal to 1 over RC, it will RC will get cancel each other, tan inverse of 1, you will get the 45 degree. And similarly if I substitute the other values, 0, omega equal to 0 and omega equal to uh, some other values, or you will get the different phases. Okay, so this is what the resonance point where you will get omega equal to 1 over RC. That is whenever omega substitute as 1 over RC. So this is your phase response. Now similarly, if I consider the, instead of the capacitor, if I consider the inductor, okay, so that inductor, so it will be behave as a high pass filter. You can see the response which you can take and write the circuit. And if you substitute the Zp, which is having j omega l, so if I take that uh, Zp as which is there here. Okay, so if I take that one as an inductor, okay, so this is Vi. Okay, so now that Zp which I take it as just an inductor j omega l, which is having a inductive reactance. Okay, so now if I take that h of omega, the magnitude of that one, so even if you can define the h of omega, so that is that p by rs plus that p, so that you can define h of omega which is equal to j omega l divided by rs plus j omega l. Okay, so this is what we're going to get. So now you can simplify this one, so you can take j omega l down, so we will get 1 minus j into rs by omega. So this we can define h of omega, and if we can take the magnitude of that, so we will get a square root of, that is 1 over square root of 1 plus rs by omega l whole square. Okay. So this is what we'll get the magnitude, and you can get the phase as tan inverse of rs by omega. Similar like you can take a minus jb or a plus jb in that form, and you will going to get the phase. Okay, so now if I take the magnitude response and phase response, it will look like this. So omega you can substitute, so omega equal to rs by l, wherever it is omega it is there. If you substitute omega, which is nothing but rs by l, so you will going to get the response. So wherever you have rs by l, so you will going to get the resonance point. So that is you will going to get the filter, high pass filter like this. So this is wherever you will get rs by omega l, that is rs by l. So if you substitute rs by l, which is for omega, so you will going to get the high pass characteristic, and you will going to get maximum value as 0 dB. Okay, so this is this slope. So since there is only one element which is reactive element, so we will get the 6 dB per octave or 20 dB per decade. Okay, so this is what when we put the inductor, so only a single element inductor, And also similar like, so if you put the omega in terms of phase if you want, okay, so you will going to get like this the response. So where you will get the 45 degree, so wherever you will substitute omega equal to rs by l, so this will get cancel each other and you will get tan inverse of 1, so that will give 45 degree. Okay, so this is what 45 degree, and there wherever you have, so omega equal to 0 it will become infinity, and tan inverse of infinity 90 degree, and somewhere it will go on reducing. Okay, so like this phase response will come for the inductive circuit, so wherever the shunt element considered as a inductor. Okay, so now if I consider both inductor as well as capacitor, so now what will happen, so if I consider both the shunt element ZP which is having inductor as well as the capacitor, so then you will get the like a passband kind of thing, and it will be, so so it will be having a passband, particular passband. So if I take both, so it is it is acts like a passband filter. Okay, so if I have RS, both capacitor and as well as an inductor. Okay, so if I have both, so is it understood? Any doubt? Hello? Hello, Kavya, Arshini, understood? Or any doubt in this? Hello,
No doubt, sir.
Prithvish, Rishabh.
No doubt, sir.
So now if I consider both L and C, so if your shunt elements ZP, if I consider both L and C, so these are all, so j omega L which is parallel to, so minus j by omega C or 1 over j omega C. So that if I take the parallel combination of this, so we will get j, that is j omega L. Okay, so parallel to minus j by omega C. So this is a parallel combination. So and we have, so here, so only j omega L it will come, because if we apply the, the KVL and KCL here, so we will going to get j omega L, so whatever we considered earlier, that is the h of omega, okay, which is nothing but r v naught by vi, which we are considering here, so which is nothing but whatever we have taken zp by rs plus zp, so this combination we are taking as zp now. Okay, so now what is zp? Zp is nothing but your j omega L which is parallel with respect to uh, 1 over j omega c, so that if you substitute and if you do, so then you will get, so if I take the parallel combination of this j omega L into minus j omega c divided by the addition of this, and you will going to get this one, so which is nothing but j omega L, so this divided by rs minus omega square rs lc, okay, lc plus j omega L. So this is what the if I take the combination of this, and this will give the resonance circuit which is a pass band filter, and if you can take the magnitude of this one, so we will going to get h of omega in dB, we can get it as 20 log of, okay, so omega L divided by square root of Rs minus omega square Lc whole square. Okay, so if I take that this whole thing is Rs minus omega square Lc whole square. So here it is, Rs is not there. Omega square Lc whole square. So now again plus omega square L plus omega L whole square. Okay, so this is what we're going to get in terms of the magnitude response in dB. And if I take the response, so we're going to get like this. So this is one 6 dB per octave, and again it will going to the 12 dB per octave. So and this one it will be having the 12 dB per octave, and this one which is having a slope of 6 dB per octave. So this and this 6 dB per octave, and this one is 12 dB per octave. That is why, because so it is having two elements. The first element it will give 6 dB per octave, and another element which is giving the 12 dB per octave. So this is what the resonance which will happen for the circuit which is shown. So this is what the passband resonance circuit it will give. Okay. So since it is acts as a tuned circuit, so L and C where the resonance frequency occurs, so this will increase the roll off from 6 dB to 20. Okay. So this is what we'll have if I have the shunt element which contains both L and C. Okay. So now if I take the what is meant by the loaded Q and how we can get that. Okay, so what is meant by loaded Q? And how to what are all the components which requires, and how actually this one uh, describes in passband characteristics. So even this loaded Q, which is also called as the circuit Q, okay, so which is also called as the circuit Q. So because it is the loaded Q, it will describes the passband characteristics of the resonance circuit. So if I have the passband characteristics like this, so the loaded Q defines the passband characteristics. Okay, so that will in general the loaded Q, so it depends on the source resistance. So this loaded Q, so which depends on what are all the components which is there in the circuit. So the loaded Q depends on means it depends on source resistance. Okay, and it depends on the load resistance. Okay, and also it depends on the individual component Q. Okay, so individual component Q. So now if I have the circuit which is having, okay, so if I take this one as resonant circuit, and if I have the series resistance Rs and the load resistance RL. Okay, so now if I apply the voltage here in the source side. Okay, so now if I define the Q, so which is loaded Q, so as I said, it depends on the, or it describes the passband characteristics. So now if I have the less Q, okay, if I have the less loaded Q, say for example if I have Q of 1.5, then it is having a wider passband. Now if I have gone increasing the Q, so this will reduce the passband frequency, that is passband range. So if I take the passband range for Q equal to 1.5, it is having a wider passband, And similarly, if I have a Q equal to 20 or 25 like that, so if I take, it will going to reduce the passband, the duration or passband range. Okay. So now if I take the in between, as I said, so this resonant circuit, if I take it as L and C, the parallel combination of L and C. Okay. So now, so if I want to define the loaded Q, or even if I write the equivalent circuit for this, so it will be having L, C, and this will be a parallel combination, that is the RS parallel RL. Okay, so this is what equivalently we can write for this circuit. So now we can define this loaded Q or resonant circuit key. Okay, so the resonant Q sees an equivalent resistance. Okay, so RS, which is parallel with RL, so that we have seen. So which is, so as it is, if I consider this RL as a true load. Okay, so now this loaded Q can be calculated by using this parallel resistances. So that is parallel combination of this resistance, that is RS is parallel with RL. Okay, so this parallel combination we can calculate, and loaded Q, so we can calculate by using Rp divided by Xp. So whatever the reactances which is offered by L and C and the parallel combination of resistance, so we'll get the the loaded or the circuit Q or loaded Q. Okay, where Xp is the inductive or capacitive reactances of either of the reactive component. So here you can get the Xp, so as the inductive reactance component or capacitive reactance component. So now if the RS or RL, if it is increases, okay, so what will happen? So the equivalent resistance, so whatever the equivalent resistance in the equivalent circuit, so which will reduce the energy loss. Okay, so and it will narrow the response, the narrow the frequency response curve, and this will increase the selectivity of the resonant circuit. So it will increase the selectivity of the resonant circuit, so it will change the loaded Q, so as it will result the change in the loaded Q. So now for a fixed Rp, so if I just fix the Rp and if I change the whether L or C, what will happen? If I change the reactive part, that is Xp, so either it may be L or C. Okay, so if Xp is decreased, if I Xp, so you can have Xp either the inductive component or it will have a reactive component. So this is what we have. So the the Xp, which is reactive component. Now if I take the inductive component, so if I choose a smaller L, again the reactive component will go on decreasing. Okay, so that will be having higher, so that Q will going to increase. Now if I have higher C, again the reactive component will going to decrease and it will increase the Q. Okay, so now either you can decrease the L or you can increase the C, so that will going to decrease the reactive part and it will increase the Q. So if this decreases, again this will going to increase. How to decrease this reactive component? So either by choosing L and C reactive component, reactive inductances or a reactive part, so then we can increase the Q by reducing the Xp. Okay, so that is what we have the loaded Q. So now if I just take an example problem, how to increase or decrease the Q, or how to find out the Q. So now, so we have the problem, so just you can take this problem and you can see how to calculate the Q. So design a resonance circuit with the loaded Q. So this loaded Q it is given, and we have to design the resonant circuit which is having a loaded Q of 1.1 at F equal to, okay, so 142.4 megahertz. Okay, the frequency is given and you have to design a resonance circuit with a loaded Q of 1.1. Okay, so that operate between the source resistance, which is given the source resistance 100 ohm. Okay, and load resistance also 100 ohm. Okay, so now After designing the resonance circuit which gives the loaded Q of 1.1, now how to increase the Q using a perfect components. So that is what. So after designing the resonance circuit for a loaded Q of 1.1, how we can going to increase whatever we have discussed, either decreasing of inductor value or increasing of the capacitor value. So that we can do, and we can see how the Q will going to increase. Okay, so now for that, so designing of resonance circuit, first you calculate what is Rp, which is nothing but Rs parallel RL. So what you will get Rs parallel RL, so that is 100 parallel 100 ohm, so which will give it as 50 ohm. Okay, so now you can calculate what is Xp. So Xp is nothing but Rp by Q, so that we have seen, that is Rp by Xp, which is having a relation. Now Xp it is given by Rp by Q. Now we need to get what is the loaded Q we need, so it is a 1.1. So now Rp is 50 and loaded Q we need for our resonance circuit, or we want for our design circuit which is having Q equal to 1.1. So now what is Xp, which we will going to get, 45.45. So can calculate this one. So we will going to get 45.45. So now which is nothing but, so this will be equal to either a series reactance with respect to omega L, or it is also equal to the capacitive reactance 1 over omega C. Okay, so now if I have omega which is given as frequency, which is given by 2 pi f. Okay, so you can calculate what is the frequency, angular frequency, that is 2 pi into 142.4 megahertz. Okay, so you are going to get omega. Okay, so what is omega? So we can calculate, so what is the omega value? Okay, so now the same thing you can get here, so you can substitute the omega L, so which is equal to whatever you are going to get. Okay, the value, so then we will going to get L equal to 1 over, that is omega. So that is what we will going to get L. Okay, so calculate the L value. So anybody can calculate what is omega and what is L? So now we know what is Xp, which is given. So Xp is nothing but 45.45, which is nothing but omega L. So omega L is nothing but now for 45.45. So calculate omega from this equation. So can anybody tell what is omega? Hello, Namita, Gagan Kumar. Okay, L is 50.7. Okay, so is it 50.79 nanohenry? Okay, so similarly you can calculate what is C. Tell me. So what is L? L is 50.79 nanohenry. And similarly capacitor you calculate. What is the value of capacitor? What is the value of capacitor? Tejas, got it? C. What is C value? Sri Gauri Engineer Gaud. Okay, C is 24.59. Okay, so 59 is it picofarad? So just P, okay, so picofarad. So that is what you will going to get for the capacitor 24.459 the picofarad. So now we got L and C, so which is required for our circuit. So now how to increase the Q? Now, so to increase the Q, either we need to increase the capacitor value or we need to decrease the inductor value. Either of this you can take and you can do it. So now, whatever we obtained the capacitor value, I'll increase to some 500 picofarad. Okay. So I'll increase to the C new value, which is I'll increase to 500 picofarad. And so I can decrease whatever L to from 50 to around 2.5 or 2 whatever you can give any value, not only this one. You can reduce to 25 nanohenry or 20 nanohenry, whatever it is. So correspondingly you have to calculate the new Q. Okay, so now if I take the 500 picofarad, so the new C to increase the Q, again you have to calculate what is the XP. Okay, so for the new value of capacitance, okay, so what is the value of new value of XP you can calculate, keeping the RP constant. That is RP will be fixed, only we are changing the capacitance. So now, so if I put the value of 500 picofarad, so by same value of omega, so what is the new that capacitive reactance, you just calculate it. What is XP for 500 picofarad? Just tell me. What is the value? Vishwas? Pavitra? Anybody calculated? What is the new value of XP? Enjaregod calculated what is the new value of XP? So okay, so calculate what is the value for XP, and then you can calculate what is Q new, which is increased, which is given by the new value of XP divided by, that is whatever, so RP by the new value of XP. So that is what the increased Q for your circuit. Okay, so now in order to optimize this, whatever the Q, you have to select the optimal values of RS and RL to get the specified Q. Okay, so this is very important by for selecting RS and RL value to get the specified Q. And also, so if the RS and RL is fixed as like in our problem, then select the component values L and C to optimize your Q or to get the specified Q. So now if the poor quality of reactive components, so if the quality of the components which is very poor in the resonant circuits, so then the net results will be always effectively place a low value of the shunt resistor, so which is across the circuit, so which will drastically reduce the loaded Q. So that's why you have to take care of the reactive components, so which will be very highly selective. So that means you have to select L and C in order to get the circuit Q or loaded Q, which is highly selective in nature. So that you need to take care while designing the circuit. Okay, So now whenever you take the resonance point, so an ideal LC parallel circuit has a very high total impedance. So in the ideal case, it will be having high total impedance of this LNC, it will be very high. So now because of this Q, so most that capacitors, so which are in the frequency range, it is very useful. So we need to consider the particularly for the capacitor what is the QS, or if you can take some symbol, that is QS for capacitor or QL for inductor. Okay, so if the in most of the cases, if the capacitor values are very high over the useful frequency range, then we need to consider only Q of inductor while doing the calculations. That is because of the capacitors, if it is over the frequency range, if it is the capacitance value is high, so in a particular circuit, so then we have to take only the inductor for particular circuit for the calculation. So if in the case the capacitive value it is giving high Q. Okay, so now whatever the example which you have shown, so or which you have discussed, so even we can write the equivalent circuits for that. So which we obtained 500 picofarad, and whatever we obtained 25 picofarad, you can write the equivalent circuit, so corresponding to that particular case. Okay, now this is about the loaded Q or circuit Q, and all other some of the definitions. So you have so Preeti, you asked the ultimate attenuation definition. So the ultimate attenuation definition is the whatever the maximum range which is in the attenuation outside the passband, that is, so which we have discussed here, no? So if I take outside this passband, okay, so now how much attenuation drops, okay, from outside the passband? So from the maximum attenuation which we got, okay, so that is what we call it as ultimate attenuation. Okay, outside the passband, whatever this roll off, how much attenuation falls down from the maximum value, okay, so that we'll call it as ultimate attenuation. Okay, so that is what, so we can define ultimate attenuation and other factors. Okay, so this is about the circuit Q, and also how to calculate circuit Q or loaded Q, and other definitions about the resonant circuit, and how the filter characteristics varies where when we take inductor, capacitor, and so and combination of those. So this is what the resonant circuits. Okay. So we'll stop here and we'll continue the impedance transformation in the next class. Okay. So is there any doubt in this, the resonance circuit? Okay, so the capacitance, the new Q value is 22.36. Okay, that is fine. So even I have recorded the class. I will send you the links of this class, all the classes, whatever we recorded. So this is okay. The Q value 22.36, the new value. So like this, if I give any other values also, how to increase, you have to try to calculate by using this whatever we discussed, similar like that. Okay, so we'll stop here and we'll continue in the next class.